Plastics have been around for quite a long time, with the first cheap commercial use being created in 1907. Since then, humans have been taking full advantage of this technology, using it for most everything in our daily lives. But have you ever wondered where the plastic goes once it's used? Enter the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, otherwise known as the GPGP or Pacific Trash Vortex. This large vortex is the final resting place for much of the plastic of Eastern Asia and North America, amassing about 3.5 million tons of garbage per year. Reaching from the west coast of North America to the east coast of Japan, the vortex itself spans roughly 20 million square kilometers, making it the largest aquatic trash patch in the world. The secret behind its size? The patch is actually an amalgamation of two smaller patches, the western and eastern, joined by the North Pacific subtropical gyre, as seen here. And, just to give you an idea of the patch's size in relative terms, the eastern patch alone can fit 2 Texas states inside itself. Let's take a closer look at how the gyre actually works. Say, for example, someone tosses a plastic bottle off the coast of California. This bottle will travel south on the Californian current until it reaches the edge of the Gulf of California. From there, our adventurous bottle catches the north equatorial current going west across the Pacific, hops on the Kuroshio current going north when it reaches Japan, and finally starts traveling back eastward towards California on the North Pacific current after it leaves Japan. Ideally, this would be all that happens. It would just travel around and around until finally getting picked up by someone. However, due to the strength of the California and Kuroshio currents, our water wanderer will get overpowered by one of these currents along its journey and get pulled into the watery grip, where the bottle will meet many of its brothers and sisters that have made the perilous trip before it. This trip tends to take about 1 year if the bottle starts off from the western coast and 3 years off the eastern coast due to the strength of the in-between currents. When the name Garbage Patch comes to mind, many think of a large island made completely out of trash floating in the middle of the ocean. In reality, however, quite the opposite is true. Though the patch has roughly over 7 million tons of garbage and is more than 9 feet deep in some areas, most of the visible garbage is just small bits of broken down plastic that float on top of the water, giving these areas the appearance of a dark, oily soup. In fact, approximately 70% of the garbage in the patch sinks to the bottom, meaning that only 30% stays on top. Ew, if that's what the top looks like, I'd hate to see the bottom. What floats on top is actually just broken down bits of many household plastics used every day. For example, this little guy here is a plastic resin and can change into virtually anything. Bottles, styrofoam cups, bouncy balls, you name it, the plastic pellet can help make it. The challenge with plastic in the ocean is actually twofold, especially when it comes to the garbage patch. The first problem is that plastic was never designed to be broken down. Even after multiple uses, anything made from plastic was originally designed to function properly. Though today's plastic quality isn't as good as it used to be, that doesn't mean it will degrade any faster. Because of this, more plastic is being thrown out, but none of it's biodegrading back into the environment, just simply breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces until it finally reaches its base resin pellet form again. Here's a chart of just some of the items found in the patch and how long it takes to break down back into the environment. Problem 2 may impact us more closely, as many animals live in that area view plastic as food. Turtles, for example, love to eat jellyfish, not plastic bags. Yet many turtles are now ingesting bags, mistaking them for jellyfish due to the look, size, and movement of the bags in the ocean. Another example would be the albatross that live in the area. With so much garbage floating in the Pacific gyres, many birds mistake the plastic for food and eat it, not knowing the consequences behind it. Here's a picture of just one bird who decided to indulge itself in the fine selection the garbage patch had to offer.
Created using Powtoon.